You can bill a patient $80,000 for a complex surgery and still walk away taking a massive net financial loss. The U.S. healthcare industry generates $4.5 trillion a year, about 17% of the country's entire economy. Yet operating profit margins for hospitals often hover in the low single digits, and 30% of these systems operate entirely at a loss. To prevent multi-billion-dollar healthcare empires from collapsing under their own weight, administrators rely on specific accounting mechanisms designed to reveal where every dollar actually goes. Without tracing those precise costs, setting prices becomes an exercise in blind guessing. And in an industry where margins are this thin, those guesses threaten the very existence of the hospital. Understanding where the money disappears requires moving beyond the macroeconomic data and onto the clinical floor. Some expenses are highly visible. These are direct costs, the salary for the surgeon's time and the physical medical supplies, from bandages to the titanium implants. But the larger drain is often found in indirect costs. These are the shared resources that keep the building functional, like electricity, hospital administration, and the constant maintenance required for multi-million-dollar MRI machines. Because these costs are shared, hospitals often distribute them randomly across every patient. A standard percentage of the overhead is added to every bill, regardless of how much of that machinery or staff time the patient actually consumed. This misallocation means the hospital is unknowingly subsidizing some patients while overcharging others, a process that quietly erodes profit margins until the institution is no longer viable. Most industries manage their expenses by treating production like an automated factory floor. In process costing, when mass-producing identical items like aspirin tablets, the total cost is averaged across every unit. But an average fails in a hospital. Patients require customized treatments. Applying factory-style averages to human care causes catastrophic data errors. Instead, hospitals must use job order costing, a method designed to track the unique expenses of individualized custom jobs rather than mass-produced commodities. Treating a variable patient encounter like a standardized factory run destroys profit potential by failing to capture the true resources spent on each case. In a frantic emergency room, tracking those individual costs is difficult because the daily activities are unpredictable and often overlap. To gain clarity, administrators use activity-based costing, a forensic approach assigning costs based on the specific actions required to treat a patient. This system tracks the duration of every event, minutes in the waiting room, nurse check-ins, and precise lab test costs. This transforms abstract overhead and shared resources into an itemized financial record directly linked to a specific patient. By exposing exactly which operational processes are draining the budget, activity-based costing allows a hospital to identify and stop the financial bleed. Tracking these activities allows administrators to compare the messy reality of daily operations against the hospital's official financial plans. This process relies on standard costing, the planned or expected cost assigned to a procedure before a patient ever walks through the door. When the actual bill is calculated, the hospital looks for the variance, the mathematical difference between the planned standard and actual cost. Variance analysis dissects that discrepancy. It reveals if the loss was caused by wasted surgical materials or if staffing was so inefficient that labor costs spiked beyond the budget. This turns a mysterious financial shortfall into a specific target. Management can now take action on a concrete operational failure rather than wondering why the numbers don't add up. Every data point collected on materials and activities leads to a calculation that establishes a clear threshold for financial solvency. This is cost-volume profit. This break-even point allows hospitals to negotiate from strength with insurance conglomerates, ensuring contract rates keep the facility running. Cost accounting provides the logic required to keep critical institutions alive. It is the engine that allows the global economy to sustain the hospitals we depend on.